Hello, this is Noel Camilotes for Entertainment Media, and this is ChatterBox. Hello again, this is Ian Camilotes for Entertainment Media, and I'm here at Anime Magic for its fifth year, and I'm here with Mr. Alexander Maniatis. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, I wanted to start off because you're one of the live action actors here at Anime Magic, and the first thing I wanted to ask you is what got you into acting?
So, growing up, I was a very quiet child, and I think through performing, because I got into music first, singing and dancing, it gave me a space to become someone else with a voice.
Okay.
And I think through acting, it's like exploring different characters, but eventually exploring different sides within myself, because I learned so much from these characters that I play. And I got hooked on that. I think that's why, yeah, I love what I do.
Okay. What are some of the things that you love about being an actor then?
It's definitely like taking on these different roles, especially if it's challenging roles. You get to delve into these characters and find out where do they sit within you. And you have to ask questions, and sometimes it's really hard questions. And it's like going to therapy, for example. Through these characters, you get to connect dots about yourself.
How you would be that character.
And then realizing certain things about yourself and go like, oh, I see a little bit about, of myself in this character, and I don't necessarily like this. Why don't I like this? Well, I have to do some work on myself in this or this or that. And I really love that, because it's like therapy for me.
Okay. What are some of the things you don't like about acting?
Oh.
Any...
Do we have time? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I guess it's a very challenging industry.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that it's not constant all the time. I think that there are a handful of lucky and talented people who get the opportunity to work constantly. But it's not the same for everyone. So you sometimes get to play an amazing character, and then months go by without any work. So I find that quite challenging, because it's this roller coaster where when things go well, it goes really well, but when it's quiet, it's really quiet. And then you start questioning yourself, am I not good enough, or why am I not working, why am I not booking jobs? And because you are basically the product,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not working, you start asking questions about yourself. It's like, am I not good enough? So I find that extremely challenging, is that when you're not working, it is a little bit of this roller coaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing being a musician as well does give you a little bit of a reprieve a little bit during those down times then.
Definitely. So when I studied drama, after that I did a graphic design course, because I love sketching and photography and videography and editing. And I also did a massage training course. So I only got back into acting in 2016. I studied, I finished in 2008, and then I sort of like disappeared for a while out of the scene. In 2016 I decided, cool, this is my passion, I really want to do this. But I also had to learn the hard way that you can't just put all your eggs into this one basket, because it's going to be quiet at times. But luckily I could fall back on the graphic design, or do the massage therapy and the music. So I still sort of like dabble in between all of those, and photography and videography.
Okay. Throughout your acting career so far, you've had a lot of different roles. You've had quite a few roles that you've played. What are some of the roles that you're most drawn to?
I think where I am now, probably because I'm approaching 40, so it might be a little bit of a scarier time, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting to a certain age. So I'm going to call it my dark era. So I'm drawn to sort of like darker roles.
Darker characters. Okay.
Yeah, and sort of like layered.
Okay. Are those the roles that you like playing? You're talking about, so those are the roles you like playing now, then?
Yeah, I really want to like delve into those, and if there's an opportunity to play, psychological thriller, psychopath, or I would love that.
Okay. Well, one of the characters that you're very well known for right now, Netflix, is One Piece. You play Captain Kuro,
Yeah.
and that seems to align with
Yes.
kind of what you're looking for. How did that role come about for you?
So, because they used a pseudonym for the original casting, it was called Project Panda, and nobody knew the scale of this project. It was just everybody. The agents got a casting brief and got a breakdown on characters, but also they had different names. And my agent mailed me. She's like, "Well, there's this character. Would you like to audition?" And I read through it, and I was like, "Well, I think they gave me 2 scenes to prepare for the audition. So one where he was basically serving Kaya, but different names, and then one fight scene at the end where I think it was the fight with Luffy, but also different names, different texts or scripts, basically just for the audition. And I liked the duality of the character. It's like, here's somebody pretending to be good, but there's actually this really dark side, and that really got me into this character.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much research did you have to do for that character? Because there's, of course, the source material from the manga, there's the anime. How much research and what kind of research did you do to prepare for that role?
So my audition process was about 6 months back and forth, and it was only up until the last round that I basically found out that it was One Piece. So I had to just in the beginning, just had to explore the duality of this character between this pretending to be a good guy, but actually quite rageful and angry. And I just had to play with that. And when I found out that it was One Piece, I didn't know a lot about One Piece, and then I had to do my research. I was like, wow, this is massive. And then started researching my character, the way that he moved, his voice. And then also there was the manga source material as well. But then I went to therapy to find the character where does he sit within me. And I also used draw inspiration from, movies or characters that I grew up with, that I could see resonated, or I could see aspects of Kira within them. Which one was Winifred Sanderson.
From Hocus Pocus, right?
Played by the amazing Bette Midler. And then Freddy Krueger. I grew up with
I see
that. And definitely there was a little bit of Scar as well from Lion King.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
it was that suaveness. There was
There
was a calmness about him, but you could sense the danger. There was this really calmness, and almost that hoity-toity upper lip, this sort of stiff upper lip to Scar, which I think really sort of helped me also with Kira.
Okay. Did you feel any pressure with taking on a character from a very beloved and popular series, especially with something that's been established?
Yes, there was a lot of pressure that I felt. And I remember on my way it was day 1. On my way to the set, I got an anxiety attack in the car. Because I sometimes struggle with the imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And on my way to set, I was what's the word now?
Hyperventilating.
Hyperventilating, there we go, thank you. Hyperventilating, and got to set, and I had to just for a moment, just close my eyes, and I went wait a minute, you're not Alex now, you're Kiro. And Kiro could hurt all of these people. Why are you scared? And I had to remind myself in that moment, cool, I'm not myself now, I'm Kiro. Be in control.
That's a strong way to be able to overcome that.
It really helped me a lot to just remind myself in that moment, I'm not Alex. I'm not Alex with, no, sorry, I hate referring to myself in the third person. It freaks me out a little bit. But I had to remind myself and go, cool, I'm not myself now. I'm this character. And he's not scared. So you don't have to be scared.
Okay. How were your feelings about the production of the show? Because you had a great cast. It seemed like everyone got along.
Yeah.
You had the creator himself on board,
Yeah.
so to speak. How did you feel about the production as a whole, in terms of just your experience on it?
The production as a whole, I'm so proud and so honored to be a part of this amazing production. Yeah, and it was just the opportunity to be a part of something so big, you know. Also the respect that we had for each other. When you arrived on set, every ingredient, I'm just going to use the analogy, like every ingredient, so you bring an ingredient or a flavor, I bring something to the table, and we are going to bake this cake, which is one piece. And the ingredient that you brought, the ingredient that I brought, was seen, was valued, was respected. Because what you brought was necessary, what I bring was necessary, and it was seen. And I really, really enjoyed that.
Okay. Well, what are some of the any upcoming projects or any other plans at the moment? Or are you on social media that we can follow along and, as you say, the journey,
The
so to
journey.
speak?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram. It's Alexander.Maniatis. At the moment, acting-wise, it's quite quiet. You know, after the writers and actors strike last year, we thought that, you know, yes, we're going to come back and it's going to be booming. And in my experience, it's been slightly on the quiet side. So I looked at it as an opportunity to focus on my music. So I'm working on my music at the moment. And there's auditions are starting to come in again, which is an amazing sign for us. And so just holding thumbs that, you know, I land one of those roles that I've auditioned for, and just finishing the music, so you can follow my journey, and hopefully the music will be ready by the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one last question I love to ask all the guests that I have, but it's going to be a little specific in a way for you because you've talked a lot about character work.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for any aspiring actors that really want to capture the essence of a character that they want to truly embody?
I think just don't be afraid to explore. Yeah, explore the way your body moves. Explore your voice. Because I guess the moment you are self-conscious about yourself, there are these blocks to be creative. And in that sort of like moment where you go, cool, I am not scared to explore, you know, perhaps like changing your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to feel like a fool if I do it. I would say, right, really get comfortable with yourself, because this is the vessel. And the more comfortable you are with yourself, this vessel, and your mind, the better.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak
Thank
with
you
us
for having
here.
me.
Well, this is Ian Camilotes for Centertainment Media, and thank you for listening.